We should just talk anyway, because we have your still up.
Yes. For some strange reason, the camera is just not working all of a sudden. That's a shame. Well...
That's right, can she see us?
Can you?
No. I don't think the internet connection's good enough.
Can we see us?
It's funny.
So I've gathered that you've seen the video around 3 times now.
Yes.
I guess it's pretty helpful because it is a video that is meant to be viewed a couple of times. The text is a bit cryptic and complicated. The whole project sort of took its point of departure in the magazine. You can see along the wall, I think, right?
Yep.
The whole Earth magazine that's on display.
Yep.
It was actually my father's belongings. I found it among his stuff years ago.
Huh.
And I found the title really funny. It seemed hopelessly modernist and very utopian, the whole Earth catalog. And I felt that I had to produce some kind of work with that someday. And then I did this project last year, which was a whole installation that took point of departure in this very magazine. The whole Earth magazine sprung from this activist work trying to have the first image of a whole Earth taken by NASA released for the broader public. This image was taken in '67 and was taken with a weather satellite by NASA. And Stuart Brand, who started this magazine, was convinced that if the people would only see this image of a full globe, it would ignite a global revolution, a sustainability revolution, that is, because people would realize the fragile and isolated sphere that we live on, sort of. And it was made public, this image, but the revolution didn't really happen. But this image made the cover of the very first magazine that they released, the Whole Earth magazine, in '68. And then it sort of became the outset for the whole aesthetics of the magazine. And so on every cover of every issue, there would be an image of the Earth in different contexts. The Earth and the Moon, you know, all these different constellations of space imagery. And then this very one that my father had is kind of curious because on the cover is an image of what looks like the Earth, but it's not. It's an image of the sky taken with a very strong fisheye lens. And it sort of made me think on this repetitive gesture of insisting on this image having an effect, and then ending up with this sort of prestige of an image of the Earth. So the video is very, very obvious that I've made the whole video from still imagery that I've scanned from Whole Earth magazines. And then the video is really trying to investigate this possibility of the image, because I think it's a very naive but very beautiful, especially as a visual artist, that they believed in one image being able to revolutionize the whole world and the lifestyle of everybody. So it's really what it's kind of investigating, you know, what can the image do and what's the potential of the image. And then it's set in this sci-fi or near future society which is also it's an idea that some of the people of the scene of the Whole Earth catalog sort of flirted with this notion of the noosphere, which derives from a Russian cosmonaut's theory, but it was developed by an American guy who was part of the Whole Earth. scene, which is that we are evolving beyond the material world, and that we will have this noosphere, which is the world of the mind, basically, that we communicate and live only in the mind, and where we communicate through these images, which I think is very much in line with this notion of a strong potentiality of images. Yeah? And then it's sort of trying to unfold this one specific image with these three girls trying to analyze it or figure out its meaning and potential over and over, and then it plays out these, 4 different scenarios. Yeah, so that's how I will try and explain more in depth what you've seen 3 times.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
That was your question.
Yes, that was my question. Second question is, when you talk about the she in the video, where is the she coming from? When she writes to you and she tells you, yeah, where?
Right. Well, there's of course a relation to Chris Marker in this video. It's playing a lot on Lachete, which is the first film made from still imagery, and it's a science fiction. And then there's his other film, Sans Soleil, which is a voice-over-driven video that consists of letters, or it's explaining or describing these letters being sent from a he, and then I'm sort of playing with that, making it a she, making the protagonist and the active part her. But it's for me, it's really the she is coming from the future, describing this future scenario.
Thank you.
Does that explain it?
Yes. Because I was fascinated with your use of inverted commas around some of the things that you had in the text. And that explains a little bit more.
Sorry, can you say that again? It's very low.
Sorry, I'm sitting across the other side of the room to the laptop, so that's probably got something to do with it. I was fascinated by how you used inverted commas around some of the things that were in the text, as if they had sort of like they had come from somewhere, and so I was just interested in knowing from where they had come.
David, do you have a question?
For our end, honey, the catalogue was printed in 1970, and it's kind of old, like it's really, it looks tender and delicate, which is a really nice backing. Well, I guess it was your point of departure. I just think it's so interesting that something that came about, obviously from 1967 or the magazine from 1970, and what you're delving into now, just through my dialogue tonight with a few people who've been and who aren't here now, they had to move on to other things, have said that they would like to come back. They've seen it twice, but they want to come back and see it again and again to digest it. And I think that's possibly a compliment for your work, in that something, I mean, some might say that it's recent, 1970, and some might say that they weren't, who are in the room now, who weren't even born. I just think it's an accolade. It's really interesting that it's sparked so much thought. I think it's irrelevant.
Yes, it is a very old magazine.
It's nice to see the magazine and the video.